Hello. Yes, today is one big hot mess. It is Good Friday, or as I have deemed it, Good Donut Friday. So, there is a place in Alameda that serves these little tiny, well, not tiny, but donuts. And it's beautiful and lovely, and it's 2 miles away. So it was a little bit too far for me to walk there and back with donuts. So I drove over there because donuts are an essential service, bitches. So we had donuts. So tonight from District 1, I found steampunk Mickey ears. Though what exactly makes it steampunk, I'm not quite sure. There is a no. There is some kind of rule that if it's brown, it has some silver doodads on it, or gears, this has a key, then it's steampunk. So, today is Perfume was not meant to be bathed in. My morning starts with my mouse wake-up call, much to Roger's dismay. Between the makeup call and Pal Mickey, I think he is tired of the mouse telling him what to do and when to do it. I think it's cute. Hey, honey, wake up. Mickey says, up and at him. All that elicits is a grunt and a hairy eyeball. I go out on the balcony, but there are no otters visible today, and fortunately, no naked neighbors either. I decide to eat the lamb and duck leftovers from last night on the balcony, read for a bit. It's early. I'm having a civilized breakfast, taking in our fantastic view of the palace. No small children or grown men are flashing me their wieners this morning. This is turning out to be a very good day so far. After Roger's obligatory coffee, we head towards the bus. This morning we are going to Disney Studios for just a few hours because, let's face it, there's not much to do there. I don't know if the caffeine has now started to affect Roger's brain, but he's being very nice to Pal Mickey. In fact, he wants to play with Pal Mickey. This is highly suspicious, considering all the complaining and griping he's rained down on poor Pal Mickey. I was stupid and handed him over. That was a mistake. Wait, what is he doing to Pal Mickey? Stop it! Stop it! Mickey doesn't like to be touched there. There are kids around. I feel like I'm trapped in an Adam Sandler movie. Are boys all hardwired for this sort of behavior? I mean, honestly, I would like to know. I wonder if I can get some grant money to study this issue. Sorry, getting back to Pal Mickey and his plight. Roger has progressed to pulling Pal Mickey's tail up and giving him a wedgie. I want Mickey back, but Roger wants to play keep away. And guys do this too, all the time. It's annoying. I know there is no way I can overpower him short of punching him in the junk, so all I can do is whine. Come on, give him back. Then it hits me. How old are we again? Do I really want to be with a grown man that behaves like that obnoxious kid on the playground? This is giving me flashbacks to 4th grade in Miss Sanguinetti's class. Roger finally gives Pal Mickey back, and now we are off to Disney Studios. I'll be up front and confess that Studios is my least favorite park. There really isn't much here. There are only 7 attractions in the entire park, and only 3 have any thrill factor at all. There are shops and shows, but not much in the way of traditional attractions. If it wasn't for the fact that you could get booze here, I would be bored to tears. Well, first things first, rock and roller coaster. I love this ride, and since it involves speed, corkscrews, loops, and Aerosmith, I figure Roger will too. The premise is that you and thousands of your friends just happen to be in this made up recording studio where Aerosmith is recording some songs. They're late for a concert and ask you to come with them. Yeah, like that would happen. You're loaded into a limo and launched on a wild ride through the LA freeways at night, all set to Aerosmith tunes. Roger had never been on it before, so this was going to be fun. Roger likes things that go fast, and this ride goes very fast. I don't like jerky coasters, and this one is smooth, and the seats are comfortable. I just love seeing people's faces when they watch the cars blast off for the first time. And blasted really is the right word for it. You go from 0 to, oh my fucking God, in 2.8 seconds. Since the first major element of the coaster is an inversion, they need to shoot you into the loop with enough force to carry you through. I tell Roger to take a breath right before launch because you won't be able to breathe until you are through the first loop inversion. He's all excited. As long as he doesn't goose me in front of pal Mickey, we'll be fine. The 4.5 G-forces you experience during launch on this ride are greater than mission space at Epcot, and actually going into space for that matter. So if this launch does not bother you, the liftoff from Mission Space will be a piece of cake. I don't even remember which Aerosmith song was playing. I was too busy screaming, in a good way. I made it through with flying colors and was only a bit dizzy. Roger is all hyped up and wants to go again, or at least go on Tower of Terror next. I need a quick sit down. Just looking at Tower of Terror right now is starting to make me a bit queasy. Just because I got through one insanely fast ride doesn't mean my body can stand another one so soon. Roger wanted to ride Tower of Terror, or what I referred to as a huge helping of screaming runaway elevator death. He nixed a round of speed shopping, so I had no choice but to pick up my sour stomach and head across the street to the ominous Hollywood Towers Hotel. This is the epitome of what a thrill ride means, especially if being dropped from huge heights scares the crap out of you. I avoided this attraction for years because each time I was at the park, I went with people who didn't like to be dropped. That was the perfect excuse to go along with the pack and indulge being a chicken. Then I thought, am I a princess or a mouse? Well, I guess here being a mouse isn't a bad thing. Did I have to psych myself out to get onto this death elevator? You bet your booty I did. I thought, how bad could it be? I mean, honestly, if 8-year-old kids and little old ladies are going on this, why should I be scared? I keep repeating, Mickey won't kill me. Mickey won't kill me. Over and over like a crazy mantra. I do have to say that while those 8-year-olds and little old ladies are crazy nuts, this ride is first rate. Once you're through the door, you're taken through an elegant but decaying hotel from the height of Hollywood's heyday. The Hollywood Towers Hotel, which is catered, and the line is covered, to the most glamorous of the silver screen icons, was struck by lightning one night and a few guests disappeared in the elevator. We are now the first guests to enter the hotel since that fateful night. We're taken through the lobby, past the inoperative elevators, through the basement, and loaded into the service elevator. The car consists of benches with lap bars, arranged in 4 rows, 2 columns per car with a center aisle. There is also one single seat in the middle of the last row at the top of the aisle. It has no seat belts and it has no seats in front of it and only an old-fashioned car lap belt instead of the large metal lap bar. More on that later. The doors close and the space in front of you becomes a movie. You are entering the twilight zone and are about to see what happened to the people that disappeared all those years ago. You ascend, and the front of the car seems to dissolve as you see ghostly images of former hotel residents. And then the car leaves. Oh, no wonder I'm not moving. And then the car leaves the elevator shaft and starts roaming the halls. We have truly entered the twilight zone. Once we stop, we're positioned over the drop shaft. The possessed elevator rockets to the top of the tower. The doors open in front of you, and for a split second, you see the park and the Matterhorn and Jesus and Elvis and your whole life flashing before you, and then you drop. The drops are random. The great mouse computer can send you up and down anywhere from 4 to 7 times. And while the drops are very scary, they're not jerky. They're more like a bungee cord drop. You drop, you bounce back. The doors open, you see Elvis, you drop, you scream, bounce, repeat. Remember that single seat in the back? Either pity or envy this person. Remember I said I had an unobstructed view and what appears to be an old-fashioned car seatbelt lap variety as opposed to your secure compatriots with their large metal lap bars? Now that is scary. The clear view of your doom right before you drop with no heads in the way. As we stumble out of the elevator, we're greeted with Rod Serling's voice saying, "A warm welcome back to those of you who made it, and a friendly word of warning, something you won't find in any guidebook the next time you check into a deserted hotel on the dark side of Hollywood. Make sure you know just what kind of vacancy you're filling, or you may find yourself a permanent resident of the Twilight Zone." I near ran off that ride. I was so high on endorphins that I was buzzing Disney style. Roger wanted to take advantage of my newfound courage and write again, but we were dumped into a gift shop and I had some shopping to do. This is also the photo place where you can see yourself screaming, praying, wetting yourself, whatever. This must be the coolest gift shop on property. They offered some really nice stuff here, and I had money burning a hole in my pocket. I wanted to redo my bathroom with Hollywood Towers, towels, bath sheets, washcloths. I get the nice high-quality terry cloth bathrobe and Hollywood Towers do not disturb sign from my door. Roger managed to haul me outside before I bought the rest of the store. Since we're in Hollywood, I thought it would be fun to find the Gene Kelly Singing in the Rain umbrella and hang on it. The mouse minions are working on the New York section of the park, and it was a challenge to find. After much searching, which involves many stops inside shops, a refreshing beverage, and a quick stop to get a churro, we find it on the corner. It looks small and sad, and the water isn't working. What am I talking about? What water? Okay, picture this. There is an open iron umbrella welded to a light pole, so you can hold it by the handle and pretend to be Gene Kelly and singing in the rain. And when you grab it, water is supposed to shower down on you. Totally cool, right? Yeah, it's not working. We determined that when you are disappointed by a non-functioning pool prop that is relegated to the low-rent part of a street, an ice cream sandwich is in order. You know that Mickey cookies and cream ice cream sandwiches are hard to find? I only saw a few carts that sold them during our whole trip, but I lucked out. I am in Mickey ice cream heaven. Roger reminds me that we need to go over to the Indy stunt show. I hadn't seen it before, and we get there right when the show starts. Now, I must tell you a few things. I come from California. I lived in Los Angeles for 13 years. I'm a professional actor, and I'm really picky when it comes to my theatrical entertainment. I saw the Beauty and the Beast show here on my very first trip in 1998, and it blew chunks. I'm sorry, it blew big time. It wasn't the actors' fault. I'm sure they were doing their best, but the hardcore actors work in California or New York, not Florida. Sorry, it's true. That being said, I'm batting 1,000 because the acting in this show sucked as well. Sorry. Sucked. So bad. The show starts off with Indy in the temple trying to get the idol. Now, I must say that the sets were fantastic. George Lucas would have been proud. Steven Spielberg would have been ecstatic. However, the actor portraying Indy was just going through the motions. From the audience, it looked like this. Let me watch Raiders of the Lost Ark 500 times, mimic Harrison Ford's movements very badly, and have zero emotion or context behind those actions. It was just soulless and empty. The poor actor was pretty and could do stunts really well, but he couldn't act his way out of a wet sack. To make matters worse, a woman sits down next to me. She appears to be alone, for reasons that are readily apparent. She reeks. It's like she took a bath in cheap perfume and had a cheap cologne shower because she didn't think she was wearing enough cologne. It's enough to drown a cat, or at least to make her smell like a cheap cat house. I can't breathe. It's awful. I breathe through my mouth. Roger doesn't notice and pokes me for making derogatory notes about Indy. I go back to watching the show. The temple scenery slides away to reveal the Cairo Bazaar. Now, that is really cool. The technical stuff so far I give big props to, but my monkey wagon is about to be disrupted. Here comes Marion Ravenwood, and she's a blonde. I can't even. What is with that? I mean, she's fine in regards to stunts, but her acting sucks as well. It's the I'm doing this because the script says to do this now syndrome. Now we move into the fight with the bad guys. It's hokey, lame, and has nothing at all to do with the movie. I mean, when was the last time in Raiders that the bad guys pretended to be a circus act? Yeah, right. They have a plant in the audience who is a really good actor. Why would they have him playing Indy? Next, they move to the desert airplane scene. Now, this really chaps my hide. The Nazis. I hope that we can all agree that Nazis are evil. Do we get that? Do we get that, boys and girls? E-V-I-L, evil. Why do we try to hide the fact that they're Nazis? Is it is like PC hysteria run amok? They use the Iron Cross instead of the swastika on the vehicles and the plane. What, does Disney think we're going to offend the Nazis? I mean, we can't have people thinking Nazis are the bad guys. God forbid. I hate this. I am done with this show and the stinky woman next to me. Perhaps they could use her as the bad guy if they need any extras. She can overcome people with her super odor power. Roger takes my books away and writes, "Show is really fun. Dre is just picky." Haha, give me my book, you psycho. I pause in my note scribbling long enough to give him the hairy eyeball. Mickey tries to give him the hairy eyeball too, but Pal Mickey can't because he's too damn happy and his face is made of plastic. Well, we are now going to try the great movie ride, but it was broken, just like the soul of this park. The clock is ticking down and I need extra time to get ready for the Mickey's not-so-scary Halloween party that night. We have dinner reservations at Cinderella's Royal Table, and we need to jet before 3 p.m. at the latest. So good thing there's not a lot of things to do in this park. We grab a quick beer to fortify us for the bus ride and head back to the hotel for a change of clothing. I never would have guessed what happens next. And that is tomorrow for Once Upon a Scream and other princess stuff. So, to give you a quick rundown of the evolution of Disney Studios, it started out as MGM Studios, and they partnered with MGM. Then, when that dropped out, it just became Disney Studios. The centerpiece of the park is a representation of Grauman's Chinese theater. And that was its iconic landmark, a bit like the Tree of Life in Animal Kingdom, or Cinderella's Castle in Magic Kingdom, or the giant golf ball in Epcot. Well, then in 2000, they decided to put a gigantic sorcerer's hat right in front of Grauman's Chinese. And when I mean gigantic, I mean ginormous, huge, Godzilla size, massive. And it just ruined the whole aesthetics. It was a very hot topic online when they finally, just a few years ago, got rid of the sorcerer's hat. Some people really liked it. Some people, like me, felt it was an abomination unto the Lord and were so glad it was gone. Now, Rock and Roller Coaster is still there, as is Tower of Terror. Tower of Terror that used to be at Disney California Adventure was a cheap rip-off version of the Florida ride, which is tons better. When I said that the elevator leaves and goes tooling around, it does. In California, when you get into the elevator, that is the drop shaft. And of course, you don't really drop. You are pulled down and pushed up using hydraulics. But the drop shaft is the same. When you get in your car, that's where you see all the different things. Your elevator goes nowhere. In Florida, the car actually leaves the staging area and then kind of goes tootling around through the Twilight Zone, where you see ghosts and all kinds of cool things, and then goes over the drop shaft. So it's two separate areas. But Eisner and Paul Pressler just thought that that would be too much money. And now it's Guardians of the Galaxy anyway, so there you go. Now there is a new children's area that is Toy Story themed. Surprise, surprise. They do have Midway Mania there. They do have Star Wars. They had Star Tours was put in there. And now Galaxy's Edge is in studios. So that's the big, huge draw. And why everybody now is going to studios is because of Galaxy's Edge. And they have enough room. And since there really wasn't anything there anyway, Galaxy's Edge really works there. There's one nice restaurant. There's a couple other ones that are, but I have not been in a long, long time. Over a decade. Because when I have only so many days in my mouse vacation, I want to spend them in places that I actually enjoy and have fun in, like Epcot and Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom and Screw Studios. So tomorrow will be Halloween, and well, at least it will be the Halloween party. And we will be going to Magic Kingdom for Mickey's Not So Scary. So, as always, please subscribe and like. And from District 1, to all of you out there, may the odds be ever in your favor.